Good evening, America. Welcome back to another episode of Break the Machine podcast. I'm in town for just this week. We are going to, just to give you guys all a heads up, we won't be here Friday, but Red Day and I will be back in full swing again next Monday. We have a really good show planned for you guys. We have a whistleblower from the state of California who has been trying to protect the children. We're bringing her on thanks to CRT Mom. She got it set up for us, and we're going to make sure we bring her on too as well. So next week will be a pretty full week. It'll be myself and Red Day will be back on Monday and Friday. We'll have another Warrior Wednesday. It's about that time coming up next Wednesday. Have to get a hold of the major. He has a golf tournament going on and whatnot at the beginning of the week. So hopefully he'll be with us next Wednesday. Regardless, if I have to pull it off myself, I'll pull it off myself. But he is pretty busy with his tournaments right now. And he does these golf tournaments in order to raise money for his organization, Empower the Veterans. Make sure you click on Nina. What is going on, Rogue Nina? It's good to see you, honey. Um, Make sure you click on the description in the description, click on those links. Um, let's get together with this with our Patreon hangout on a Discord. We got to get some more people in there. We've been watching movies, myself, Nina, and Jonathan. We've been having a good time at it, and I believe we got some potential dates uh, for for this month as well. I think it's not next weekend. It'll probably be the following weekend or the 25th. I think, Jonathan, did you say it was the 16th or either the 16th or 18th and the 25th? I think it was the 18th and the 25th. Those are the two Saturdays that are available. Make sure you sign up for the Discord so we can, pick movies. He always throws some selections in there. It's also a good place for us to continue to hang out and continue to drop some knowledge on one another. But how is the demo crew doing? All right, I've been away. I went away to go hang out in Denver, which is actually a pretty city, but it's just riddled with just. It was just really sad to see. Same thing happened when I went to Minneapolis. It's just like people just strung out everywhere. Um, Went to go see Metallica last week on Friday and Sunday. 2-day Metallica show was absolutely incredible. I absolutely recommend that if you've never seen Metallica live, please do. The next time they're back in the U.S., we saw their last U.S. date. I think they headed to Australia, but it was just a fantastic show. Didn't hear the same song twice. Went through every single one of their hits that they could come up with for 2 nights in a row. On the first night, we had Ice Nine Chill opened, and then Limp Bizkit came on. Fred Durst, haven't seen his ass in 20 years, and he's actually pretty damn good. Yeah, Colorado is just as bad. I think it's worse, honestly. It was just very sad to see because Denver is actually a pretty city. Outside of Denver, by the airport, it was just like they got all this growth going on, building homes and everything like that. There are these very beautiful neighborhoods and whatnot. But when you go downtown, it's just something else. But we also went to, if you guys watch South Park, the creators of South Park, they used to go to what do you call it? A restaurant called Casa Bonitas. We went there. That shit is literally in the middle of the hood, but it's worth it. It's quite the experience. Great food. Food comes out very, very quick. Drinks were just very, very stiff. Um, really good. I got a double, and I was like, I couldn't even do more than a double because it was just I wasn't about to go in on another drink. We had to leave anyway to go see what do you call it? The second night that was on Sunday. We went. It was just crazy. Really good time though. Again, if you guys get a chance, and then on Sunday, Suicidal Tendencies opened up. They were actually really good. I hadn't heard them in a while. And Pantera was just right after them was fantastic. And then of course Metallica. The second night was just like incredible. It was just as good, if not better, than the first night. So if you ever wanted to go see them and you get a chance to see them, they put on a fantastic show. And just about everybody I know who's gone to see them has told me that they put on a fantastic show. But let's get back. Let's make sure that we're signing up for the Discord, fam. But how is everybody doing? I want to know how. Just thumbs up. Are we all ready for the 4th of July for this weekend to celebrate the birth of our beautiful nation and our wonderful nation, the birth of our republic, which actually became more of a republic later on once the Constitution was adopted. But um, it's just should be a good weekend. Just remember this weekend, be safe if you're handling fireworks, especially around your children. And talk to your children and your grandchildren about the beauty of this nation, and make sure you just get into them and explain to them what it's all about. That it's not just about the barbecues and whatnot, which is always fun. It's not just about going out on boats and whatnot like that on the lakes or the rivers or out in the ocean. That's always fun too. But explain to them, why we celebrate the 4th of July to your if you have young children or if you have grandchildren. It's a right to get it done. We want to make sure that they understand, because you all are very patriotic people who watch this show. You all are true seekers and true tellers, and you want to make sure we carry that on with our children and our grandchildren and whatnot. My kid is already a grown ass man, and he's already set. Don't have to worry about him. Pretty sure I'm not gonna have to worry about my grandson either. Thankfully, that's always a good thing. But let's get into some news. Many of it, most of it, you probably know already. All of you guys are always on top of stuff, but I've been a little bit out of the news cycle. So if I go over something you guys already know, it's all right to roast me a little bit. It's okay, because I've been away drinking and fucking having a good time listening to Metallica over the weekend. So we need to start getting into things because it's just important. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about that they pulled out, okay, of the bill, the big beautiful bill. You guys have heard us rant a little bit about the AI stuff that was in there. So, there wasn't going to be any parameters for any kind of protection for the American public when it comes to AI. Senator Blackburn went on a full court press to she wasn't happy with any of the AI stuff in there, especially because they wanted to take some rights away from the states and prevent the states from being able to actually regulate it in their states. And Senator Blackburn, Marsha Blackburn, she wasn't having it. She tried to make a deal with Ted Cruz. It just didn't seem like it was going very well. So she pulled out of it, and then she jumped on, and I believe they pulled it out. I haven't heard anything different. If you guys know of something, please let me know. So let's get into this really quick. So this was actually from yesterday afternoon. I was like still traveling. So Republicans scrap deal and big beautiful bill to lower restrictions on states' AI regulations. The provision could allow big tech to continue to exploit kids, creators, and conservatives, Senator Marsha Blackburn said. So she was on it. A deal that had been reached between Senators Marsha Blackburn, Republican Tennessee, and Ted Cruz, Republican Texas, over how states can regulate artificial intelligence has been pulled from President Donald Trump's big beautiful bill. We've been talking a lot about AI the last couple of weeks on the show, every chance we get. So it was a good thing. I think we've been really loud and obnoxious, not just us, but like, our side on social media and whatnot. And we've been really railing on this. So it's good. Said the collapsed agreement would have required states seeking to access hundreds of millions of dollars in AI infrastructure funding in the big beautiful bill to refrain from adopting new regulations on the technology for 5 years. So essentially, they were just telling, well, the states can't do anything for 5 years. So we're just going to run roughshod, do whatever we want. A compromise down from the original 10 years. So they wanted a 10-year thing. They reduced it to 5, but it just seems like it didn't work out, which is good. It also included carve outs to regulate child sexual abuse material, unauthorized use of a person's likeness, and other deceptive practices. Blackburn announced on Monday night that she is withdrawing her support for the agreement. Good. For as long as I've been in Congress, I've worked alongside federal and state legislators, parents seeking to protect their kids online, and the creative community in Tennessee to fight back against big tech's exploitation by passing legislation to govern the virtual space, Blackburn said in a statement on Fox. So, again, we've been railing on this show about the AI thing, the issues that we've been having. So it's really, really good that we were able to pull that out. It's a good thing. There's got to be some serious regulation when it comes to artificial intelligence. It's here to stay. It's probably not going anywhere. But we can't tell the states they don't have the right for 5 to 10 years to not regulate it in their own states. That's just incorrect. So I'm glad that it's, as of right now, seems like it's out of it. I know it's been going back and forth. Um, the bill's back at the House, and the Libertarians and the Rhinos are trying to tank it because again, they don't want anything to do to help the administration at all. They don't want to get us a win. They cry and they talk about how they're principled and all this other bullshit. But during the last administration, some of the same yokels were fucking out there talking about, you know, well, I'm going to approve this. They approved a whole bunch of shit for Biden. It really comes down to an ego thing. They have issues with Trump. You know, Trump is the ultimate troll. He's burned bridges. Have to admit that. And none of these people want to help. So that principle shit, they're all full of shit. Don't believe that. The only principle when they need it to be principle, but when they were getting the pork for their states and whatnot, and all the bills that got passed through, um, in the last presidency with Biden, you know, they weren't so principled. So fuck them all. But they're there to try to tank it. They're going to do what it is that they can um, to tank it. So, but this is a good thing with the AI right now. We really need this shit to come through. By the way, if you guys, Blondie will be back with us. She's actually on vacation with her family and whatnot. So, you know, she's been coming on Wednesdays with me, but I told her don't worry about it. Go have fun for the holiday, for the 4th of July. She's on a really good what do you call it, vacation with her kids. So we wanted to make sure that she could enjoy that, not to worry about the show. We're only in here for one day this week, and then we're gonna ramp back up, hopefully straight through to Labor Day. But of course, vacations pop up and whatnot. So hopefully, you know, as far as me, I'm not taking any more time until the Labor Day weekend. So, uh, you know, definitely got to spend holiday with the fam. But again, this AI thing's fantastic. You know, that they pulled it out. Really good things. Another great thing that they pulled out was the land grab that they were trying to do to sell land and whatnot. Um, it was pretty freaking awesome to hear that Mike Lee, okay, got his shit fucking taken away out of his bill because he had so much freaking pushback, which was really really good. Um, it was pretty awesome to hear. So let's get into it. This is from the Daily Core. Again, these are things that I might have missed. You guys might have saw it. It might have happened like before. I think this happened earlier yesterday. Um, he pulled it out and he's got a statement that it's a typical statement as if it's everybody else's fault, not the fact that the whole thing was just a bad idea. These guys don't ever want to admit that shit. Uh, it's just they're idiots, man. You know, just admit that it sucked and the people that want it. So hunters, fishermen, and outdoors experts rejoice as Senator Mike Lee backs off plan to sell public lands. It says here, conservationists, hunters, fishermen, again, my reading sucks, outdoorsmen celebrated Republican Utah Senator Mike Lee's decision to withdraw his public land sales proposal from the big, beautiful tax bill on Saturday. So this was over the weekend. Lee, who had originally proposed an amendment to the bill that would have required two U.S. agencies holding public lands to sell between half and 3/4% of the land for housing development, withdrew his proposal on Saturday. Conservationists and outdoor lovers lauded his backtrack. This is a big win for conservation. It's also a big win for the people, right? Like, you know, we don't want the government, what do you call it, selling off land and whatnot, because you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna sell it for the wrong reasons. Big win for conservation. The Tennessee Wildlife Federation reacted on Monday post on X. Thank you to everyone who called your senators in support of our nation's public lands, the organization concluded. And this is a statement from Mike Lee. He says, over the past several weeks, I spent a lot of time listening to members of the community. Bullshit. It wasn't going to pass. Local leaders and stakeholders across the country. While there has been a tremendous amount of misinformation, see, he has to throw that in there, right? Because he's a dipshit. And in some cases, outright lies. No, just again, he can't just take the L. About my bill, many people brought forward sincere concerns. That's really what it was. The concerns of the American public is he had to listen to. Because of the strict constraints of the budget reconciliation process, I was unable to secure clear, enforceable safeguards to guarantee that these lands would be sold only to American families, not to China, not to BlackRock, and not to any foreign interests. Okay, because everybody was bringing it to him. This is what happens when you get loud. For that reason, I made the decision to withdraw the federal land sales provision from the bill. I continue to believe that again he's gonna freaking hold on to those reins. I continue to believe that the federal government owns far too much land it is mismanaging and in many cases ruining for the next generation. Under Democratic presidents, massive swaths of the West are being locked away for the people who live there with no meaningful recourse. That has real consequences for it. So he's actually not wrong, by the way, about this. From raising taxes for schools and funding local search and rescue operations to being able to build homes and sustain rural communities. That is the ultimate thing, right? Like, so if it's just open to the people to build homes and whatever, and it's not like complete commercial shit, and again giving it to BlackRock so they could build a whole bunch of homes and then just price everybody out of it anyway. It said President Trump promised to put underutilized federal land to work for American families, and I look forward to helping him achieve that in a way that respects the legacy of our public lands and reflects the values of the people who use them most. I'm grateful to everyone who took the time to offer thoughtful feedback. Your voices help strengthen this bill, and they will continue to shape the path forward. So essentially, he caught a lot of shit for this. Okay, his constituents and a lot of people. Yeah, I agree. It should have never been considered for sale. I'm with you on that one. It's not just. It's just they caught a lot of hell. Okay, the senators were catching shit all weekend. Even though I was away, okay, enjoying myself, I get these notifications and stuff. So like pop up into things. If you're just joining us right now, Blondie is away uh, into next week for vacation for the holiday weekend for the birth of our nation. Make sure that you celebrate it correctly. uh, Talk to your kids, talk to your grandkids about the birth of our nation and whatnot. It's not only just about the barbecues. Not saying you shouldn't have barbecues. It's a good time to just throw some steaks on a Blackstone or whatnot, and hook yourself up, drink a couple of beers, go out fishing. It's a long weekend, so have a good weekend. Anyway, but be safe if you're using fireworks again this week. And while you're at it, pick up some Scars and Stripes coffee. If you want to have this real fantastic blends of coffee, um, again, they get their coffee from all over the place, but they roast it here in the United States. They got both grounded and beans. So if you like to ground your own beans, they have it. You can get it. So you can get huge 5-pound bags from them. If you want, you can get a small bag of beans or grounded coffee from them. Scars and Stripes coffee, very good blend. I drink it, and I'm a Bustelo guy. I grew up on that, and their coffee is just very, very good. So make sure you pick some up. My affiliate link is in the description. So if you click on it, it should take you right to it. If you're gonna buy something, you'll get your discount using Big Red. While I'm at it, I will go ahead and just click the ticker while I'm continue to talk here. But yeah, so it's good that we got that land grab taken care of. I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably come back to it at some point and try to, Mike Lee's not gonna give up on that. It wouldn't surprise me if there was some backdoor deal with some fucking, uh, developer or some shit that he was gonna make money off of in Utah, and that all got scrapped. Because you can't trust any of them. Doesn't matter who they are. They're all full of shit at times. When it comes to money in their pocket, they will absolutely lace their pockets, okay, and fuck over the people. But you all were very, very loud and very, very obnoxious with them, and they were hearing it on social media left and right. It wasn't going over very well for them. So I'm pretty cool. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. Tank it all. It's all good. Just listen. This bill is not perfect. You've heard Red Day and I talk about it, but we need a win. Okay, we need like a solid positive win. All right, and then we can move the goalposts a little bit closer. So when we kick the next field goal, it's got more and more. The reach isn't so freaking far for us to actually get more points on the board, right? Uh, I know it's not perfect. I haven't seen a perfect bill in my whole life. I haven't seen a perfect bill. The real thing I would like to see one day in my life, I doubt I'll ever see it. I'll probably go to my grave before it even ever happens, is a single item bill, right? A lot of us have called that forever. Just, break shit up, single item things, vote on it so we can find out who's going to vote yes or no and just go from there. But they don't do that. Everybody's got to have their freaking piece of the pie. They got to get their pork in there. They got to do the things that don't help anything but themselves, don't help other Americans at all. And I know that essentially our elected representatives have to represent their constituents. I get that, but they're still representing the nation, right? So like your constituents, you're thinking about them, but you should also be thinking about like-minded constituents of some of the other states, right? Like you want if you're in a freaking group, let's say for instance the Freedom Caucus, we're going to bring them up. There's ten of them that are looking to tank the bill. Yeah. I still think that at some point they're gonna sell some land, public land. We can't go on forever hoarding some of this land. With that said, if you're building it for homes for people and stuff like that, you're not, and it's gonna go to the actually to the people and not to big ass developers like BlackRock and whatnot. Um, that's different. And obviously, you're going to get some commercial in there, right? Like some of that land, if you're building homes, you want to build some commercial so people can buy things and stuff like that, supermarkets and whatnot. So not everything is ever going to be just private for private, property and stuff like that. That's just the nature of real estate in general, and buying land. But what they were talking about selling off was going to be a lot. I don't. The thing is, nobody understood what it is that they wanted to do with it, right? So everybody was like, "Fuck that." We're not selling any of that, right? There wasn't any clear motive of what they wanted to do with selling all of this public land. Okay. It's like, okay, we're going to sell this much, but for what? They weren't telling anybody, so it's just why he had to throw in the BlackRock in there and stuff like that. But it wouldn't surprise me if in his own state he had some developer that was ready to build some shit and he was going to, get his little piece of the pie that way, um, through campaign contributions and all kinds of other stuff. But I'm just glad that it's out. I'm glad the AI shit is out. It's probably more stuff that could really get pulled out of it. But we need to win. We need to make sure that these tax cuts become permanent. I know they're all falling all over themselves over the Medicaid issue. They're still sticking up for fucking illegal aliens, people like Susan Collins up in Maine and whatnot. It went right down to the wire. JD Vance had to come in, I know, this weekend to break the tie. Uh, but it's just despicable. And she listen, she caucuses with the Democrats anyway. Same thing with Lisa Murkowski. And when they threaten that they might be they're considering caucusing with the Democrats, they do that shit anyway. They don't really help us out as much. If you look at their Liberty score, they're not much liberty coming out of those two fucking twats. Uh, so it's just expected. I don't know where Lisa Murkowski voted. I know Susan Collins voted against it, voted nay. Um, I think Murkowski might have voted yay. Not sure. All I know is that JD had to come in and he had to break the tie and whatnot. So it's fucking crazy. Our government is always on some bullshit. Always on some bullshit. So, in case you want to know who the Freedom Caucus people are who are going to hold up the bill now that it's gone back to the House, it's definitely Massey's out there and Chip. I'll fight all of MAGA and Baby Oil Roy. Um, he's just like they're just the usual suspects really. But there is a name on it that I'm thoroughly surprised, and if anybody can give me a reason why, let me know, because she's been a pretty big supporter of Trump. So I don't know why she's would be fucking behind blocking it. But here are the people. Get into it a little bit for you guys, just so you guys know. All right. It says the House Freedom Caucus. It's not all of the Freedom Caucus. Slams the Senate version of Trump back bill. Here are the GOP House members reportedly trying to kill Trump's big, beautiful bill. 10 House Republicans are standing in the way of President Donald Trump's historic big, beautiful bill. A legislative masterpiece I wouldn't call it a masterpiece, that delivers the largest tax cuts. That's true. Deepest spending reductions. There are spending reductions in there, and the toughest immigration crackdown in American history. That is big too. The House of Representatives voted 213 to 212 on the second procedural vote. They were voting all day today. According to a leaked memo obtained, okay, this was obtained by CNN, but Massey's been out there, touting that he's going to block it. So, like, I believe it. Members of all outlets, members of the House Freedom Caucus have decided to go rogue, opposing the Senate's version of the bill over issues like energy tax credits and Medicaid reforms. The big Medicaid thing is just, they just, they don't want fucking work requirements and all that other stuff because believe it is going to hurt people in their states, right? But we got to get rid of this bullshit, okay? With people who are able-bodied people who are on fucking Medicaid and Medicare and whatnot, who could be out there working and whatnot. It's not for people, it should be for people who are generally disabled that need the help. Andy Biggs, Lauren Boebert. I don't know what her deal is right now. Andrew Clyde, Neil Dunn of Florida, Andy Harris, Dan Mauser, Andy Ogles, Scott Perry, Chip, I'll fight all of MAGA and Baby Oil Roy, and Thomas Suck Dick Massey. The Gateway pundit reported earlier that Congressman Thomas Massey says he has enough GOP representatives. He was actually touting that on Tucker's show, I think, to block President Trump's big beautiful bill from passing the House. Massey told Notice, what the hell is Notice? That is that News of the United States? That he was a vote block of 10 Republican lawmakers who are no's on Trump's big beautiful bill. Meanwhile, Tennessee Representative Tim Burchett, one of the key GOP holdouts, told CNN he's now leaning toward a yes vote on President Trump's domestic agenda bill after meeting with the president at the White House earlier today. So if we can pick off some of these people that Massey's leading, we can maybe get a pass. Says it puts me a little closer. We're going to meet a little bit here and go over everything and make sure we got all our facts straight, Burchett said. The president was very informative. House Republicans are stalling on time on the floor as President Donald Trump and his team furiously work to get a group of right-wing holdouts in line behind his agenda bill. Large number of GOP hardliners have threatened to block Trump's agenda from coming to the floor. We just read that anyway. So, that again, the Bullbird, I was surprised. I don't mind people voting their principles, right? Like, I get that. But the problem is they're all full of shit. But Jonathan, are they really sticking to their values? Right? Like they fucking did everything for Biden, right? That's my issue with them. If they had did the same thing under Biden for like some of the things that passed on the when Biden was president, then I would have no issues with it whatsoever, and I'd be like, yeah, I guess listen, no matter who's in charge, they're sticking to it. But it's really because their fucking egos are inflated, and they don't like Trump. They're not they can't see the long game, right? Everybody wants to just burn shit. I get the principle of wanting to make sure that we don't do this, we don't do that, right? We should be doing that. They're not wrong in that thought. Okay, but for me, I just think, and it's just my opinion, fam. Everybody might have a different, opinion on this. Um, yeah, he no, he did do that for some of Biden's stuff, but he also fucking, he also voted to increase the debt ceiling and whatnot and everything, right? So like there are things you're not wrong, okay? Um, so but that's what I'm saying. Like it just he didn't do it for everything. Like he's doing it for anything Trump wants to do. He doesn't want to fucking help at all. Period. Right? He doesn't want to sit down with him and maybe work something out. Doesn't even want to do that. He just wants to fucking push back for pushback purposes. And that's what's annoying the shit out of me. And you guys have heard me say it. We do need a win. And it's not like this shit is perfect. It's never going to be perfect. I wish we can get perfect bills. I really do. As we all do, right? We wish we can get single items things. Um, it's I don't know if I'll ever see that in my lifetime, guys. I really don't know. I hope to God one day when I'm a fucking old and gray or older and grayer, that we can actually get like our people to do the right thing and just do single item shit. I just don't ever see that happening. That's my only that's yeah, but yeah, of course. But I agree. He is attacking him, but it's because he's just nonstop, just not fucking. He doesn't want to work with the president at all. That's that Trump is going to be Trump, right? I don't agree, I don't disagree with you. I think Trump should probably fucking bring him in to sit him down to talk to him, right? But he doesn't want to talk to Trump either. So like we're just going to keep going this way, and they've been never Trumpers for a while now. So that's this goes back to his first term. Yeah, Trump has burned some bridges. I agree, man. That's not a wrong that assessment isn't incorrect, bro. Um, but they don't want to play the long game, and they just want to burn fucking scorched earth. Let's just destroy it all, okay? Because that's gonna help. It's not gonna help, right? Because hey, the tax cuts are the taxes are coming if we don't fucking do something. All right, the increase is coming. There are plenty of things. I think we went over like 50 items in there that are really really good. I wish it was perfect. I wish they would talk with each other, Jonathan. I really do. I wish they would. Neither side wants to talk to each other right now. They are, Trump is fucking hammering him. He is. He absolutely is. But he's no fan of Trump. He has never been. And they're gonna keep doing that shit to each other, which is bullshit. Yeah, at least I will say at least with Rand Paul, okay. Yeah, well, Ron Paul was different. Ron Paul was fucking. They didn't even really, yeah, they worked around it, but they also worked with Ron Paul. right? Like, so Ron Paul was a good legislator because he did get a lot of shit for Kentucky and everything. So like, when he was fucking, they worked with him. Uh, they did work with him. And Ron Paul wasn't always a no on things either, but he made sure he got what he needed for Kentucky. He was great at doing that. But he did stand up for a lot. Ron Paul, can't say that Ron Paul didn't. He definitely did. Definitely stood up for way more shit than his son. Um, so like Ron Paul fucking stood on business on most shit. Like 99% of the shit he stood on business. Um, Occasionally he got when but he wasn't afraid to make deals, right? Like these two fucking chuckleheads don't want to make deals. And that's my problem with it, is like just all sides. Even with Trump, I have an issue with, I think you're right, I have an issue with him fucking just stop fucking smashing these people. Okay, just call them in, have a sit down. What can we do to fucking make this right? Okay, because we really need to get this across. We really need to give, okay, the people a win. All right, because the midterms are coming up and a lot of fucking we're gonna lose the house, keep fucking around. All right. So something has to give at some point. I wish they would talk it out, bro. I really do. I wish they would just get on the same page with shit. I really do. I really wish that they could all sit down and my whole thing is I stand on principle shit is bullshit to me, because they weren't standing on fucking too much principle all the time with fucking Biden. So like that's my issue. That's my biggest issue. If they did it straight across the board for fucking now for all 4 years under Biden and then all 4 years under freaking Trump, then I would be like, all right, I can't complain, because like it didn't matter. They just did it to everybody and stuff like that. But that's my issue. So I don't know. Hopefully they can work it out, bro. I really hope they do, man. Um, you know, the whole principle argument to me is just it's just to fucking just to fucking pour water on just to pour water on something that's hot. That's all. Uh, the only principle when they want to be principled, and that's all of them. That's not just Massey and Chip Roy. That's all of them. Can't just fucking put it all on them too. Every single one of them on our side, every single one of them on the fucking left, they all do the same bullshit. So I can't just like harp on them too, because we do every other Republican does the same shit too. They talk on principle bullshit, but they weren't principled for other stuff. Uh, and we already know the left is not principled at all. So like we can't even count the left, because they just have no principles whatsoever. Uh, they do everything that Marxist fucks would do anything. I will say one thing: the Marxists definitely stick together and they get shit done when they're in control. We need a win, guys. We need the people to get a win, and there is a lot of winning in that bill, and we can't deny that. Is there things that should be pulled out? Yeah, I'm with you. You know what? I wouldn't be mad if it shut down either, bro. No, that's very, very accurate. I wouldn't be mad at that. It's not like the government hasn't been shut down before, and the government doesn't really shut down, right? Like, we're gonna shut the government down. That's not really how it works. Uh, there are plenty of people in the government that continue to work and whatnot, and things that need to continue to happen continue to happen. Things that need to be mandatorily paid for are still paid for and whatnot, which includes stuff like Medicaid and Medicare. And you're not going to lose your benefits if the government shuts down. Any kind of disability benefits and whatnot for veterans, we're not supposed to get hurt by it and whatnot. So it doesn't really shut down. Um, listen, this fucking bill is I know it's really not that beautiful, but it's not as bad as some of these yokels are making it out to be. There's a lot of good in it that needs to get done, that we need to help ourselves. Um, but hopefully, bro, hopefully they can come together at some point, and even if they don't make amends, just work with one another. But neither side, Trump nor Massey or Chip Roy or any of those people that are constantly just bucking, uh, whatever Trump wants to do. They don't want to sit down and talk with each other. So he's going to continue to bash them. They're going to continue to fucking just say, no, we're not doing it, just because we feel like telling them we're not going to do it, but we stand on principle. Uh, you know, it's a sad situation. I will say this though. I do appreciate at least that we're not afraid to have arguments with one another over stuff, right? Like the left, they just lockstep, they do shit and they get it done. We We talk about how they get shit done by just doing it, right? They just run roughshod and do shit when they're in charge. But at least on our side, we have arguments and whatnot, which is what we really should be doing. But we also should be working it out when we're having arguments so that we can make things happen. Because right now it's gridlock. We're causing the gridlock because the Democrats can't really cause shit. Um, but anyway, let's get off of that for a little bit. And did you guys see this? I saw this morning. Uh, but I think it came out yesterday as far as like the word with USAID. Isn't this beautiful? It says Rubio touts. This is from yesterday. New era of foreign assistance with official closure of USAID. All right. He says the U.S. Agency for International Development has officially closed. USAID was specifically made, okay, for the CIA to get into other countries. This is how the CIA was like embedded in USAID. The U.S. Agency for International Development has officially closed, marking the beginning of a new era of global partnership, peace, investment, and prosperity, according to Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Starting Tuesday, the Department of State will take over the work of USAID. In March, Rubio announced that 83% of USAID programs were being canceled, and the agency's remaining work would be folded into the State Department. This era of government sanctioned inefficiency has officially come to an end, Rubio said in a lengthy statement on Tuesday. Foreign assistance programs that align with administration policies and which advance American interests will be administered by the State Department, where they will be delivered with more accountability, strategy, and efficiency, Rubio said. That's a good move. I'm so glad. I am so glad that we're closing that down. Again, the USAID was not really created to aid other nations. As we see what ended up happening, it was a way for the CIA to get into a lot of nations back in the day when they created it, right? Under the guise of providing aid to some of these nations and helping them uh, rebuild their infrastructures and all that other shit, right? So that was just a door for them, a path for them into these countries and whatnot, and they did a very good job for a very long time. It definitely was. Jonathan, you're right on the money with that. The USA, yeah, it was a slush fund, right? It was a slush fund. You're 100% correct. This is how they went into other countries. As we see, they use the money to do all kinds of dumb shit in these nations with fucking everything from doing tests on animals to see if they're trans, uh, the fucking Transformer, Sesame Street, and other country, all kinds of bullshit under the guise of progress. But it was their way to get into it. And their pet projects. That's what the USAID was. Money for the CIA, what do you call it, pet projects. So I'm glad they shut that shit down. They got other means. They're gonna use other other agencies and whatnot. Was keyword, Nina, was absolutely correct. It's so true. But I'm so glad that we're over with that shit. It was really, really good to what do you call it? See it. I wanted to see the doors close on that for a long time now. I wanted to see that happen. Uh, so it's good. It's good to know that we rein that shit in. There's more stuff to rein in. We're still, guys. We're still in the first year. We haven't even completed a year of Trump being the president. Uh, Halfway there, and we there's still more work to do. He's got a short window to do as much work, and now that the Supreme Court has set the precedent from last week, telling these lower court judges that they could go fuck themselves and they can't be doing these nationwide injunctions. They're still trying to tell him that he can't fire people and everything. So at this point, I hope that the administration just says, fuck you guys, we're going to do what we want because the Supreme Court already said that we can do this shit. So you guys can go ahead and freaking, go against the Supreme Court if you want to, but we're not. And we're going to continue to do what it is that Supreme Court said we can do it. So we're going to do it. And, they keep doing this bullshit, these judges. But, oh, here we go. You guys see this? It says 2 Chinese nationals arrested for spying on U.S. Navy personnel and bases. They're very good at it. 2 People's Republic of China nationals arrested after allegedly recruiting service members and conducting clandestine operations for China's Ministry of State Security. the CMS. Two Chinese nationals face serious charges after they allegedly acted as agents of the People's Republic of China's government to collect intelligence about U.S. Navy service members and bases, while also recruiting other military members to carry out tasks for the country's main foreign intelligence service. Yeah, if you're in the U.S. military and you fucking were working for these guys, I hope they hang them. If they catch them and hang them. The Ministry of State Security MSS, the Department of Justice said Chinese national Yuan Chen, who resides in Happy Valley, Oregon, and Liren Lai, who traveled to Houston on a tourist visa in April of 2025, were arrested on Friday. Both individuals face charges of overseeing and carrying out various clandestine intelligence tasks in the U.S. on behalf of the MSS, along with assisting with the recruitment of potential MSS assets and gathering intel about service members and bases. The two men are accused of facilitating a dead drop payment of cash on behalf of the MSS. The FBI arrested both men on Friday. Chen was arrested in Happy Valley, while I was arrested in Houston with help from NCIS, the Naval Criminal Investigative Service. Look at this, a picture. He's on a fucking, he's on a carrier. this, this bad juju. Like I'm glad this happened, and I'm glad that we caught these fuckers. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the spies that we know. Yeah, it's gonna get more crazy, Jonathan, because campaign season is coming up. You're right, man. Uh, so hey, speaking, Jonathan, what date was it? The 18th and the 25th for the movie night? Did I get that right? I want to make sure I get that right. Uh, yeah. So I'm glad we caught these freaking spies. Again, they listen. The Chinese have been buying land around our bases for quite some time now. We should be. Why we're not confiscating that land and giving it back to making it public land again, right? Like just freaking taking it and giving it back to whatever state or county, and kicking the Chinese off these fucking farms and whatnot. All right, the 18th to 25. Jonathan says the 18th or the 25th for movie night, fam. So we got to pick a night for him. Isn't it one of those? Isn't one of those your birthday weekend, or did we pass that already? My memory is absolutely terrible, so I apologize, Jonathan, if I forgot your fucking birthday. Um, yeah, we got to do what like Governor Huckabee did in Arkansas. They passed a law that the Chinese can't buy land there. Uh, yeah. Whatever the short movies, August 3rd. Okay. I knew you said that your birthday was coming up, so I wanted to make sure. Yeah, bro, yeah. Let's just do shorter movies, man, because you are working the killer schedule, and we don't want you to die on us, man. Uh, yeah. So we have to round up all of these Chinese farms and whatnot, give it back to the U.S. citizens, kick them off this land. Uh, the Chinese have been for decades now phenomenal at espionage, in particular with IPs and whatnot, individual property, intellectual property, and stuff like that. None of their shit. If you look at any of this stuff in the military, or whatever, it's all freaking copies of some other countries. If it's not our stuff, it's the British. Uh, it's they copy everybody's shit. They don't have their own stuff. They don't come up with their own shit. They just like they come, they get the plans, they find a way to freaking get it back to China, and they build their own shit and call it their own. They're very good at it. They've been doing it for decades, for a very long time, and it's to help undermine the United States. They do a great job doing it. But why do we continue to let them own land around our bases? If this isn't a signal, okay, for the administration to just come in and say, hey, Department of Agriculture, whatever, go check that farm out. We're gonna send some fucking undercover people with you, and then we're gonna just take their land and kick them off. Why not? Or give it back to or give it back to American citizens. Let American citizens farm it, so we can stop freaking. We used to feed. There used to be a time when we used to feed the world. We were talking about that on one of the other shows. Now we just we sell we sell shit to other countries, and they sell it right back to us. Uh, Mind-boggling. I don't understand it, but we do that. It's really stupid, but we do that. Not only with ranching and whatnot, uh, but just all kinds of other products. Everything from getting wheat from other countries. We used to be the fucking wheat capital of the world, man. We got like a whole interior nation that can do wheat, and not have to worry about it forever. Like it's insane. We shouldn't be getting shit from Ukraine when it comes to wheat or anything like that. Uh, speaking of Ukraine, did you guys see that the administration, you know how I feel about America's biggest welfare recipient, right? Fucking the Hobbit and shit from Ukraine. You guys know how I feel, but did you guys see this? I saw this earlier today. It says Trump pauses Ukraine arms shipments, prioritizing U.S. military readiness. So this was this afternoon. The Trump administration has temporarily suspended certain weapons deliveries to Ukraine, including critical air defense missiles, after a thorough evaluation of U.S. military reserves and foreign aid commitments. This move approved by Defense Secretary Pete Hex. We told you guys that this was coming at some point, right? We talked about this actually last year on a couple of shows. It stems from a months long review prioritizing American interests, though it remains unclear if other nations' military support will face similar pauses. White House spokesperson Anna Kelly stated this decision was made to put America's interests first following a DoD review of our nation's military support and assistance to other countries across the globe. Just a week prior, President Trump expressed openness to providing Ukraine with Patriot missiles during a NATO summit meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in the Netherlands. They do want to have the anti-missile missiles, Patriots, Trump noted, adding that his administration was going to see if we can make some available. That's probably because of the shit that we signed under Biden. So, like he could stop it if he want to. He says, however, a PBS report highlighted that Pentagon has also halted shipments of 155 millimeter artillery shells, GMLRs missiles, for M270 MLRs and HIMARS systems, Stinger anti-tank missiles and aim set. Oh my God! And Hellfire. They shut it down. They have shut it down. That essentially takes a lot. Yeah, we need to just stop them shit. Well, I agree. They can do it, man. He has the authority to do it, even though he signed agreements, right? Like the last president signed agreements and shit. They could stop it. I'm with you guys 100%. Stop that shit. We don't need to give them shit anymore. Fuck them. You know, fucking Ukrainians, man. The government. I know the Ukrainian people are fighting and they're getting conscripted and whatnot, unfortunately, to try to fight the Russians. The Russians can do this shit for, I keep trying to tell people, they're conscripting people too, but they can do this shit forever. You know, they got the personnel and they got the resources to continue to just pump shit out and just do stuff. It's brutal what's going on. The drone war that's going on with them, both sides, they're doing some nasty damage to each other. It's become very, very nasty. You see videos all the time of either Russians catching it or Ukrainians catching it. I wish they could. I wish Trump had he could fucking put it to rest, but he tried and he failed. Can't say that he got it done because he didn't. Said he would, and I actually thought that he might have a chance, but both those sides don't want to fucking come to the table for shit. They're going to continue to killing each other and whatnot. If you're just joining us, we're going to be closing out here in a little bit, probably in about 10 minutes. Just wanted to pop in and talk to everybody really quick because we got another long weekend coming up for not for me, but for everyone now too. And we will be back next Monday. I know. Thank you, brother. Jonathan, you're the best, man. You're pretty awesome, bro. Guys, if you don't understand how important Jonathan is to this fucking show, okay, he's just he keeps me freaking sane. He does. He keeps me wanting to continue this grind, okay, because it is a grind. And even with YouTube keeping me on ice and Rumble getting better, you guys on Rumble are always repping, man. I appreciate you guys. Say what's up to us, drop an American flag in the chat if you're ready for the 4th of July weekend and let everybody know that you not only a patriot, but you're part of this demo crew. It's constantly trying to break the narrative and constantly trying to break this machine. And the only way we do that is with each other. You are pretty, man. uh, uh, Jonathan's a fucking trip. Good dude, okay? It's what do you call it? I function with the show. He helps considerably behind the scenes. Got the Discord up and running for us so that we can have movie nights and whatnot. He mods for other creators and other podcasters and whatnot, and he does a lot. And like, I just want to hats off to you, brother. I would take the hat off, but I got my headphones on. Uh, but tip your hats to Jonathan. He's a good dude, and he does by no means has to give us. He does not have to give us 3 days a week, including when he's getting killed with overtime from his job right now. He still finds the time to give it to us, not just to me, but to all of you. Okay, to come in and take care of any dumbass Marxists that try to come in the chat, say some dumb shit. Jonathan's usually on it. See, if you guys don't follow X-Ray Girl, he's modding for X-Ray Girl right now. Tell her I said what's up, and tell her that Big Red says me still love you long time. Uh, X-Ray Girl's a good people. She would is it Poor Choices? Her and Tugs, or is just X-Ray? Because I know she's traveling too. But fam, before we go, we got just I know you guys heard about what UPenn did, right? Like the fight. Oh, it's Poor Choices. Yeah, make sure I'll probably stop in and say what's up to them and probably hit them with a super chat and whatnot. But just like tell her I said me love you long time. We still love you long time. Uh, but yeah, if you guys have been following in the news with Will Thomas, aka Leah Thomas, UPenn has decided to what do you call it? Strip him of all his titles and whatnot from the university and stuff. But what they haven't done is really given the records back to the women. And this is I found this like it sounded really good what they were doing in theory. It was actually very, very good, right? But they're pulling some sneaky shit, okay? Because they still want to be a little bit fucking woke, but they need to fucking end it, right? They made it sound like they capitulated to the Trump administration, and they did some things that needed to be done, right? Like no more bullshit with they're apologizing to women. It's a little bit too late now, but at least it's something that had to deal with all of this crap. Many of them were pushed to not talk. A lot of them were bullied at the school by the administrators and whatnot. You know, people would get threat of like getting kicked off of the teams and whatnot, the swim team. And of course, he went and fucking won some championship with the NCAA at the swimming titles, right? So here we go. We'll end tonight with this. As UPenn used a sneaky loophole to give William Thomas, I think that's his first name, aka Leah Thomas, credit for breaking records in women's swimming. UPenn is still celebrating Transformer Bio male swimmer Will Thomas after the Trump Department of Education forced the university to agree to stripping him of his titles. The university is still giving Leah Thomas credit for shattering records on its website, so they just haven't taken it down yet. Note, competing under eligibility with a note that says competing under eligibility rules in effect at the time. Leah Thomas set program records in the 1-2-5 freestyle during the 2021-22 season. Thomas, a transformer UPenn swimmer who competed for 2 full seasons as a man before transitioning because he couldn't fucking beat any man into a female. He didn't transition, fam. He just fucking grew his hair out. He was running around the locker room with his cock and balls out. And he used to do that intentionally to, mess with the girls and stuff like that to show himself naked in front of them. He shattered women's records in Akron, Ohio. Thomas also finished one of the races 38 seconds ahead of the woman who finished in second place. Yeah, of course, because he's a dude. Female UPenn swimmers were reportedly in tears after he crushed them in a 2022 swim meet. The girls on the swim team were in tears, according to sources who spoke to Outkick. Thomas was bragging about his big win because that was so easy. I was cruising, allegedly said after his 200 freestyle win. A source said Thomas was disappointed with his time after the 500 race, but boasted to his female teammates, at least I'm still number one in the country. So, like, again, this was not about freaking him wanting to be a woman and stuff like that. It was just all about, you know, invading women's spaces, as is most of these dudes. They're creeps. Okay. They're not in it because they have gender dysphoria or genuine, they're just like, they're creeps. They're creepy dudes, scumbags. They want to be, in locker rooms and whatnot with You got blocked on. You're back on Insta, Jonathan? Bro, you got to let me know, man. What your handle is. Send it to me so I can fucking follow you. Uh, but yeah, so that's good to know that they're still UPenn's still doing the bullshit. We just gotta stay. Listen, I will say this though, it is a victory to people like Riley Gaines who have been fighting this. Okay, uh, fighting it like, and there's I don't know if you guys are paying attention in California. Okay, you're able to, yo, bro, send me on the Discord. Send me a, what do you call it? What your handle is so I can follow you. Um, I'm sure you're gonna post some good shit. I'm really sure you're gonna post some good shit. Um, but yeah, it was sad what was happening to people like Riley Gaines and the people that swam against Thomas. It's good that they did something. They did something. They, like I said, they apologized. But this dude, all he really wanted to do was to invade women's spaces because he couldn't beat any of the men. All right, he was like 1,000th in the fucking country. Uh, and he couldn't stand up against dudes, so he just figured I'd just go compete against women because the what do you call it? The college is gonna let me do it, okay, and the NCAA as a whole is gonna let me do it. So, bunch of bullshit. I'm just glad that they're starting to strip this dude of any accolades that he got. He deserves to be fucking pushed out and whatnot. But fam, what is everybody doing for this 4th of July? What do we got going? Me? I'm just freaking hanging. Uh, I was supposed to spend my whole week with my family up north, but I had to come back because I had to go to work because I started a new job. But my old job, I had the vacation through the 4th of July, and I was going to come back on Sunday, but I had to come back for the new job. It is the same, you know. So fam, sign up for the Discord, okay? Let's get some more people in for movie night. We're gonna do a shorter movie this time because like Jonathan is just working. I saw what his schedule is, and it's just ridiculous. And again, he's modding for other creators while he does that as well because that's just who he is. He's just that type. He's a stand-up dude, and if he says he's gonna take care of your shit, he's gonna take care of your shit. That's just what he does. He doesn't let anything get in the way of that. And that's one of the things we appreciate him about him here on the show. So I'm gonna keep tooting your horn, bro, because you deserve it. Uh, After work, you're gonna do fireworks with your brother and the kids. Excellent, man. Just be careful, be safe. Uh, the rest of you, yeah, I know you don't know how to relax. You have to though, bro. At some point, please take a vacation, man. Uh, so my advice to everyone this weekend, please be safe. Okay, if you're handling fireworks, there are explosives and they can fuck you up. I've seen what they can do. All right. Many of us have. There's nowadays you can see plenty of videos. Just be careful, have fun, and be safe. Talk to your children, talk to your grandkids about the birth of our nation, this beautiful republic that we work in and we live in. Uh, just and how why it is the the best experiment of humanity ever seen. Okay, and make sure that you're praying to people. Pick up your Scars and Stripes coffee so you can have some over the weekend and whatnot. We need that. We need to help them out. Chad Watts is a good dude. Like I said, good coffee, great brand. They're all about God, family, and country. And like I always say, faith, family, and freedom. That's the kind of brand they are. We want to support brands like that because they're supporting us so that we can continue doing shows like this for you guys. Anyway, I will give you guys the lowdown. So next Monday, myself and Red Day will be back in full swing. We got a good show planned for you on Monday. It's going to reveal a lot of information. It's a teacher who's a whistleblower who was retaliated against in the state of California. There is a movement, like I was saying, in California. It is a fiery movement going on, not only just to protect the girls' sports and whatnot and spaces, but there's just protection. There's just these mama bears that are coming out of the woodwork now. It's growing, and it's having a minor effect, but I assume at some point it's going to have a major effect in California, and I'm glad to see it that it's happening because we have many of our viewers are from the state of California, and we shit on Cali's politics, but we love our people that are out there. It is a very beautiful state, and I my hats off to you, to all of you who are fighting, and we're gonna have one of those fighters on the show on Monday. So it should just make sure you're back for me and Red Day to tune in on Monday, and enjoy this weekend. Well, Everyone, I am the Big Red One Guy signing out. God bless you all. God bless America. And I will see you all on Monday, fam. Have a good night.